What's up, YouTubers? Today I'm going to show you a Redstone display screen that I built. Actually, I'm going to show you two versions. This is the more simple version. So I have a switch right here that will turn off all my lights, and each individual switch will turn on one segment of 3 redstone lamps, like so. And then they'll all turn off in the same way. This is actually pretty simple to build, so simple I built it in my survival world. This is what the back of it looks like. There is basically just one trail of redstone coming out of each leather, which connects to our display screen in the middle of the redstone so that it will power all 3. I also have a switch that will turn on all of my lights. As you can see, I simply use a redstone repeater to give each line a signal into my display screen. So that is the simple version of our display screen. Now we're going to show you a more challenging version.
I'm back to show you a more complex version of the redstone display screen. Right now, the main thing that you will notice is that I have 2 displays instead of just one. It does not have to be a set amount of displays for the complexity of the build, but it can be any amount, and I nicely made it say hi. This has the 2 sides function separately and together as a whole. I can turn one side on and one side off completely, and then I also have power for the whole thing, so I can turn the whole thing off and then back on. And then another interesting thing is that instead of using levers, I use buttons, which if I really wanted to be complicated, I could make it so that I can turn it off by pressing the button again, but that does not work. So let me show you some of the basic redstone. Up here is a good open example. See, pressing this button triggers the RS snore latch. It would be untriggered if there was a signal sent along this wire, which comes from my power and from the signal that turns this whole side off. So you see that it comes up here and powers this. You may also notice that there are 2 signals coming into this. One is from the RS snore latch, and the other is actually from my button that turns everything on. That just simply goes into all of the power lines at the display screen, and that's an RS snore latch too. I also have some random blocks placed around at places that may seem like I don't need them, but some of them are just there, but others are there for a reason. For example, to connect these 2 redstone lines from connecting to each other, I have a block right here. This is on the right side, so if I press this button, it triggers into the signal that comes up from underground, from over by my power switch, and it turns that whole side off. It just taps into the power line, and see that all of that turned off. That is not an RS snore latch, so I can turn it right back on. But there is an RS snore latch over here, so if I press this off button, everything will turn off. And as you see, if I press a button, it will turn right back off. Even over here, I have an underground line of redstone going from down here all the way over to over there, but the off switch for over here and over there are not connected except for by here, so that when I press this button, it doesn't turn everything off, it just turns all this side off. The last thing is that for this I have redstone lamps here to tell you the status of this, and if it is on or off. Those do not turn on if I have all of this side on. Everything goes on when I have it on, but these do not turn on as they're separate from this. And likewise, if I turn one of these on, it does not turn this on, even if I turn all of them on. Which is one thing you could add if you wanted to make this more complex. You could also pre-program in messages, and you could pre-program in numbers and some letters. You could increase and decrease the size of this by quite a lot. As you saw, the first display you saw had one screen and this one has two. You could do it for an infinite amount, but if you added quite a few, it would take a long time. This took me about an hour and a half to build, and then this is in creative mode. It would also take a lot of resources. The first model was more simple and is fairly easy to build in survival mode. If you worked at this, you could also perhaps make a clock using timers. You can get very simple with this or get pretty much infinitely more advanced. So that's also something more to keep in mind. So that is how you build a redstone display screen. I also plan on doing a world tour soon.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Big Dogs Minecraft.